for participating. And
Thanks to you.
This is something new that we're trying to do, and getting to know people in the OneCoWork and the different profiles. As you might have noticed, it's a very international and diverse group of people. Exactly. And very fascinating and very interesting experience for me to get to know as many people as possible and learn about the different industries that everyone is working with. In a city like Barcelona, I feel that this is
great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So thank you for joining us here. I'd like to just start off learning a bit more about you, and maybe you want to tell our audience who you are and what you're passionate about and what you've been doing in your life, so we get a little bit of a feel of who Enoc really is.
When I finished university, through that moment, I was thinking of like getting a job. I'm from Barcelona, and basically I was gonna take the easy road, which was like getting a job, internship, blah 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 blah. Then I thought like that's not how I like my life to be. So basically, I was a digital nomad. I started to be a digital nomad without knowing. I'm 34 at the moment, so yeah. Now, let's say it's very common to hear the word digital nomad, and I think co-workings are great for digital nomads and for people who live in the cities.
Yeah.
But back on the days, there were no co-workings, there were no digital nomads, and I could see that I wanted to discover the perfect place to live.
Yeah.
And this was another thing. So I wanted to build my career while I was discovering the perfect place to live in the earth. It's kind of like.
But the place where you were going to live, you didn't quite know. But from what I understand, what you did know was what you wanted to do. This thing that we discussed before we went live about products and creating new interesting products and combining them with technology and making use of technology to enhance them. And the example you gave of this helmet that you your team created and so on. This is something that you knew, right?
Yeah, I knew. I wanted to be an inventor. Since I was a kid. And when I went to university, when I had to decide, I was like, okay, what is the career that fits better to me?
For inventors.
Yeah, for inventors.
And what did you find?
And then I studied, back in the days, now it's more normal to tell your parents, like, hey, I don't want to study university, I think it's useless. Even Elon Musk says it's useless to have a university career. So I think a lot of people is starting to question
the use and
the use. And recently, just to make like something, just a quick comment, recently did a conference in my university. There was the director of the university, and I said publicly, like, the place where I learned more, it was in Google. I learned more in Google rather than university, and this is a fact. I mean, you put your own limits. So in Google there are no limits. You can learn as much as you want.
Yeah.
You don't have
was Google one of your partners or your collaborators?
Google has been always there. So.
You mean as in Google, as in you can do your own research?
Yeah. It's been my university. I was looking at projects of like other product designers and engineers developing amazing projects from China to Asia to Japan to the United States.
And how did you get started on this journey? I mean, it's not easy to just say, So does that mean, first of all, did you go to university? Did you choose a path?
Yeah. I went to university back on that time, and I started actually 2 careers at the same time. So I was I was not just studying a little bit. I was starting at 9 in the morning and I was finishing at 8 in the night. So and besides from these, I created my first company when I was 21.
Wow. What was that about? What company?
It was a 3D like hyper reality. So we make like these 3D models, and we make them like you would think they are real, like photograph.
Okay.
And also like buildings and all these things. So we were like really in Spain and Europe. We created one of the first companies with 2 friends of mine. It's funny because like now these 2 friends, they are like top one of the 10 top companies on 3D and like motion graphics and these things. And it's funny because their parents, they were saying like, oh, you're wasting your time. What are you doing? The weekends here on the darkness with the screens, making these things, virtual reality.
Yeah. And you started this company while you were studying.
Yeah. So I was like, starting in the morning in university, I was finishing like almost every night at 2 or 3 a.m.
Up at 7 or 8 a.m. and then...
Yeah, and I was making, we were making good money, like we were one of the few companies doing this. So we were making like really good money.
So would you say that was the first beginning of your entrepreneurial activities, this company? Yeah?
Yes, that was the first, definitely. That was the first, from a passion, from a need. And I remember I was presenting like the most amazing projects in university. The teachers didn't know how I present. I was making my first product design. I printed on 3D machine with a 3D machine. So more than 14 years ago. So the teachers were like, wow, like you make something from a 3D model to a reality. And it was many years ago now. No one was talking about 3D printing. So yeah, that was the early beginning. Then we grow with the company. Then I find out that I don't like to be all the time like in front of the screen. With doing motion graphics and 3Ds. So I kind of like focus on like product developing. And since then I went to live to Italy. And from Italy then I went to States. I worked with several big companies inside brand strategy and like, let's say, in sync with the integration of like the human unconscious behavior. So it was psychology together with product design and like experience, like UX, let's say.
But at the core of all these activities, from what I see, is your passion for technology, for creating new things, and
making them real. When you envision, I would like, there is a lot of people who say, I would like, but how you turn this I would like into an action, and I'm obsessed. So I write down everything. I keep my hard disk almost empty all the time. I put everything on the cloud. So I love to have my notebook, my phone, my laptop.
Well, they say that don't trust your memory. Just write everything down.
Never trust your memory. And everything you have in your brain, put it down into the first physical fiction, and then you can connect the dots. So this is what one of the first recommendations to early entrepreneurs is, always put down things.
And I mean, in a place like this, in OneCoWork, obviously, you meet a lot of entrepreneurs like that, obviously. And how did you come across this OneCoWork? What's your story with it?
Yeah, so basically, I knew OneCoWork. I saw how they were building it because I was coming very often here in Barcelona. And basically, one of my investors, he said, "Oh, you should go to OneCoWork. It's a great place, when you guys open." And I was in Tech City, which is near here, and I was like, "Wow, it must be like a cool place to work. Beautiful building. I love design. I mean, since I'm a kid, I love product design. So I saw this building and amazing location, not even beautiful, amazing location, beautiful design. So I think that's a very good entry level. And then the people around, which here is amazing, really like people who are, to be honest, like from many different places. Here I see people like really pushing, their limits and willing to make things, In other places, other co-workings, like people is more chill. Here also we have a lot of fun, The thing is like there's a difference between like people who are like really chilly and they don't make things, and people who are really willing to make things happen.
And what were some of the criteria for you when you chose a co-working to settle down for? Did you have any, apart of design and so on, did you have any specific things that you thought for yourself, this and this and this need to be?
So first of all, location, it's a must. Then environment, house environment. And then third, the potential connections and people around, right? So these are like the three main things.
And let's check the boxes.
All of them, that's good. All of them, they are like super, super happy. Great people here around, very interesting, And I would really like advise people who are like starting on their business. This is like one of the best places you can be.
That's good to hear. My impression is the same also. What are some of the ways in which this OneCoWork you think has helped you and is currently helping you in achieve some of your goals in your business, would you say?
So basically, in my business right now, I went through the last year. I went through a company with 8 people. I was managing internally, so I created my own company. I've been creating different companies through the past years. All of them, they are digital native vertical brands. Means we focus on like one product, and then from this product we create the brand, and then we launch it on the market through crowdfunding platforms.
Yeah.
So how does it help me? The place, it's because I was looking for a place near where I live, which I live here in Barcelona, which is great. And then one of the things was I kind of switched the way I was working. Before I had like a team who was working with me, and now I decided to work by myself and the team to work remote. So all the people who's working with me now, they're working remote. And I'm here, which I have more freedom and I can enjoy more the environment, the people around, and having great interactions with people.
All right. So some of these people that are here, obviously you've gotten to know. What would you say in terms of industries and so on? Is it related to what you're doing, or is it a big span, or what would you say?
Yeah. So actually, have like several friends who already work here.
All right.
So are based in OneCoWork.
Yeah.
So that was when you have a friend and they are like in a place for over a year, you're like, okay, that must be a good place, So they are good friends from the startup scene, and obviously we are like, for example, now today, just before the meeting, we were talking about making a new project together, crowdfunding for corporates. So we're gonna launch this very soon, and it's making partnerships with big corporations to launch their products through crowdfunding platforms and test the products, plus making sure that the products, before they launch into the market, they're tested, they're validated by their potential consumers. So when they launch the product into the market, the product it has a good engagement with the customers.
Yeah. It's also very fascinating that co-working as a way of working has become such a trendy thing to do. Worldwide also, not just here.
It's crazy, yeah. It's amazing.
But especially in Barcelona, I feel that it's, I don't know if you share this, but I feel that it's more applicable than anywhere else because of such a huge international context and so many freelancers and fraud. And so I feel that this concept really, it embraces this diversity in the city.
Exactly. I mean, Barcelona has become a perfect hub for people who live in Europe and out of Europe. So everyone, like from Asia to the United States, from South America, Australia, they want to come. A lot of people want to come to live to Barcelona, even if they earn less money.
Yeah.
So, and because it's cheaper for a lot of people, it's cheaper than in the country. While, I mean, Barcelona is a city which we have good weather, there is a great culture. I mean,
international context.
It has everything, I'm from Barcelona myself, but to be honest, it has an amazing. If you compare, like I was telling you at the beginning, I've been traveling around the world trying to find the perfect place to live. And I came back to Barcelona. I say, like, well, you know what? After checking the States, in South America, in Asia, I kind of think like
it's not a bad place.
I'm very lucky to be born here. And having my family, my old friends and new friends, and I think OneCoWork still for people based in Barcelona is a great place because the difference from a lot of other co-workings, there is such a huge amount of people internationally.
Yeah.
So these nurtures a lot, in terms of like connections and for people who doesn't speak that well English, it can also help them to improve.
What would you say? For somebody looking for a co-working or considering whether to join, a co-working space in Barcelona, etc. What advice would you give them in their search? Where should they start? What should they
So,
question ask or what?
So you could put a location as a first place, but also it depends, you know, if the location where you live doesn't have like a very good co-working, I would say it's more important the people that is inside the co-working and how is the co-working itself, you know, to decide in order as a priority to decide. So I would say the people that it's inside the co-working is very important, and I would say like the environment. I mean, I love the design here. It's beautiful, extremely beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
And this is not that easy to find in different co-workings.
Yeah, and I suppose
and it's inspiring. It's inspiring,
yeah,
you know.
I suppose people can get a day pass also, or a couple of day passes to check it out, right? If they want to.
Sure, they will come.
That's great. If people want to find more about you and your business, we're going to add, a line under there.
Sure.
What is your website, or where could they find you? Where should they go to?
It's dynamicgrowth.io.
Okay.
And
what does IO stand for?
Yeah, IO actually it's a domain. It's very used for people from Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Oh. So yeah, that's a big trend.
So dynamic growth in one word.
Yeah, dynamicgrowth.io.
Listen, I think this was a great introduction, and
thank you.
It was nice meeting you, chatting with you, and I hope we can do this sometime again soon.
Sure.
Maybe we should. It's Friday today, so maybe we should go to have a drink.
Yes, have a glass of wine.
A glass of wine. Thank you so much for joining us.